Hello and welcome to a very cloudy Airolo in Switzerland. We are here for the World Freestyle Junior Championships for 2026. The last day of competition action today in Airolo. But as you can see from the picture, it is not looking great for visibility at the moment. The top of the course, the start gate of the Mogul course that we're looking at now is actually shrouded in cloud at this stage. So the judges can't even see the top of the course at the moment. And that gives us a little bit of a question mark as to whether the competition can be run at this particular stage. The competition that we're supposed to be seeing in a moment is the Dual Mogul event here in this beautiful area between municipalities of Airolo and Quinto. Let's take a look around this beautiful corner of Switzerland when the weather's looking a little bit better. That's how things are looking right now. A little bit cloudy, as you can see. We are expecting the Dual Mogul competition to be run side-by-side action. There is the start list for this competition. It looks like the organisers are pressing on with the event. Side-by-side action on the Dual Mogul course today is what we are expecting. This is day 4 of the competition, the World Junior Freestyle Skiing Championships here in Airolo, in Switzerland. We've seen aerials, we've seen aerials team, we've seen moguls and dual moguls team yesterday. Today it is dual mogul action again that is on the calendar, and hopefully we will get this competition away. It'll be Nova Nilsson of Sweden and Rico Nonobe of Japan who will be the first pairing as we get the round of 16 underway. The winner of each of these potentially upcoming heats to progress through to the next round, onto the quarterfinals, through to the semis, and then to the finals to decide the medals and the World Junior title today in Dual Moguls. The weather so far over the course of the competition has been fantastic here in Airolo. We've seen 357 athletes representing 21 nations and ranging in age from 14 to 19 years old in this competition. And some fantastic action there has been. As we see there from the notification, the Dual Mogul competition is currently on hold due to fog. And all we can do at this particular stage is wait it out and hope that this cloud lifts off the competition course. That's how it looks like from the bottom of the Mogul course. And of course, with the top, the start gate being shrouded in fog, it means that not even the judges can see the competitors come down, let alone the risks that could be brought in, of course, because of the poor visibility, the risks to the competitors themselves. The terrain here, of course, on a Mogul course, very, very difficult. The course is about 26 degrees steep. It's almost 200 meters long, and there are 2 jumps. One about a quarter of the way down the course, the second jump 3/4 of the way down. A thrilling but risky activity is Moguls, and made all the more difficult with poor visibility, the like of which we're experiencing now. So the course on hold here at the FIS Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships in Airolo, as we sit and hope that this cloud will lift from the competition course. There's a close-up of the fog, just to prove that it really is there. And of course, a little bit of late season snow falling as well. Whilst we are on hold here, if you are still with us, it gives me the opportunity maybe just to go through some of the results from yesterday's activity here on the Mogul course. We saw the dual mogul team competition here in Airolo yesterday. A competition that features largely only at the World Junior Championships. It doesn't yet feature at World Cup or World Championship or Olympic Games, the dual mogul team event. But we were lucky enough to see a team event yesterday that saw the Swedish duo of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg claim victory ahead of the United States team of Eden Kruger and Camden Lewis. Citrine Boychuk and Simon Filipon-Fuer of Canada were in. At the picture from the top of the course at the moment, it looks very much like that fog has just lifted enough perhaps to get this competition underway. So we are in the start gate on the blue course now then, with Nova Nilsson of Sweden and Rico Nonobe of Japan on the red course. So the red course right of screen as we look at it now. The Japanese athlete ahead of Nova Nilsson. Remember, I was just saying that Nova Nilsson took gold in the mixed team competition yesterday in the duels. And she trails the Japanese skier a little bit at the moment. She's closed the gap now as they both go inverted on the second jump. Crossing the line slightly behind the Japanese athlete. So Rico Nonobe a little faster than the single mogul champion, Nova Nilsson, and the team dual mogul champion as well. She's having a great week here in Airolo, is Nova Nilsson. But she was caught napping a little bit in the gate there. She did close the gap. But Rico Nonobe of Japan did cross the line just a little bit ahead of the Swede. Remember, it is not just about speed, though. It's not a straight race. It is a judged event as well, with a panel of 7 judges looking at turn points, or turn technique, I should say, as well as, of course, those jumps, the 2 jumps that constitute the run. The execution and landing of those jumps, important and judged by the panel of judges for this competition today. And we'll see one or the other of these 2 athletes will progress through to the next round, which will be the quarter-finals. So awaiting the scores from the judges then, under difficult conditions today, with this fog that has just lifted enough to get the dual mogul competition at the World Junior Championships underway. Awaiting the score for Sweden's Nova Nilsson and Japan's Rico Nonobe. Going back to the judging system, the turn points in duels constitutes a third of the total score. The jumps, another third, and the speed is factored in for the remaining third. That is how the breakdown goes. And points are awarded on that basis. The highest scoring of the 2 to progress to the next round. And that is an upset for Team Sweden, as Rico Nonobe gets the nod, 19 points to 16. She is through to the quarter-final. And the World Junior single format mogul champion is now out of the competition. That's a little bit of an upset for Nova Nilsson. Back up top, Yulia Feklistova meets Karima Wakim. Feklistova for Kazakhstan. Wakim for Australia. That is the view from the bottom of the jump site, and difficult conditions today. It goes without saying. Not just difficult for the athletes, but of course difficult for the judges as well to score these turns and jumps. And as it stands at the moment, they can't quite see the top of the course. That first quarter or half of the course even looks to be shrouded once again in cloud. And it looks as though the foggy conditions today are going to cause problems for these World Junior Championships on the dual mogul course. The Cloud lifting just long enough to get one run in there from Rico, Nonobe and Nova Nilsson. As we await heat number 2, as the cloud and snow comes down once again at the top of that course. I suspect the competition organisers will probably put the course on hold at this particular stage. Once again. As our next 2 athletes await in that start gate, in the hope that this cloud may just lift. Well, if you're just tuning in, you are looking at a rather foggy, rather cloudy, quite snowy Airolo in Switzerland. What we would be looking at right now is the Mogul course for the Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships for 2026. But we can't quite see it. The fog has come down, the snow is falling, and the course has gone on hold. We've only had one heat so far in this competition. That was Nova Nilsson of Sweden skiing against Rico Nonobe of Japan. On that occasion, Nonobe was the better of the two and has progressed through to the quarterfinals, if indeed this competition is able to continue. So the course once again on hold due to fog. And I'll bring you updates as soon as I know more. So the course still on hold here at the Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships, the dual mogul competition due today. But the course currently on hold, and with foggy conditions, or certainly cloudy conditions forecast for the rest of the day, that does put a question mark over the potential for this event to actually run successfully today. Hopefully this fog will lift. We did see a brief lifting of the cloud a little while ago, and we got one run in this dual mogul competition, but then it closed back in again and the course went back on to hold. So cloudy conditions currently on the dual mogul course in Airolo, Switzerland, and looking rather like this could be in for a while. Let's just hope the fog does indeed lift a little. The competition organisers will be very, very motivated to get a result today. This is the World Junior Championships. It's day 4 of the competition action in Airolo that has so far seen some superb freestyle action across aerials, moguls, and yesterday dual moguls team and aerials team. Today we are supposed to be witnessing the dual mogul competition itself, but unfortunately, as we see, the course currently on hold due to fog. And like I say, the competition organisers will be motivated to get this event away. If there's any way they can do it, they will. But of course, there is a limit to how possible the event is with conditions the like of which we're experiencing now. It makes it difficult not only for the competitors, but for the judges as well, to be able to score the turns and the jumps of the competitors and to get a proper result. We're looking at the mogul course right now, although you wouldn't perhaps know that. We are looking at the mogul course from the bottom, and as we can see, we can't see the start gate, so it makes the competition impossible at this stage. So the course currently on hold. Hopefully more updates will be coming along soon. Well, if you're still with us here in Airolo, the course, as you see, is still on hold. We are supposed to be witnessing the dual mogul competition here at the FIS Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships. But that is how the top of the course is looking at the moment. Not ideal for competition action, unfortunately. So we've had one run only so far. Rico Nonobe of Japan versus Nova Nilsson of Sweden in this side-by-side Freestyle Moguls dual competition. But as you see right now, the competition and course are on hold. We have seen some fantastic action over the course of the week here in Airolo on the aerials and mogul sites. Taking a look back at the results in the men's aerials competition, it was Azalkan Asan of Kazakhstan who claimed victory in that competition. That was on Friday. He got on top of the podium ahead of his teammate Din Muhammad Raimkulov, who was the defending world junior champion. He had to settle for second place on that occasion. And in the women's competition, it was Lyubu Pilipenka who took the top spot. Thursday, the day before, we saw the single mogul competition. But in the women's competition, saw Nova Nilsson claim victory over Abby Mclarnon of the USA and Tani of Japan in third. And we've just seen Nova Nilsson, the world junior champion, go out of this competition in the only heat of the event so far. With Rico Nonobe of Japan moving through to the quarterfinals. In the men's mogul competition, it was another Swede in the single format who claimed victory. Ellis Moberg, ahead of Porter Huff of the USA and Camden Lewis, also of the US. And Ellis Moberg paired up with Nova Nilsson to claim victory in the mixed team dual mogul competition that we saw yesterday on this course. Weather conditions on that occasion quite a lot better than we're experiencing today, and we can but hope that this fog will lift. It looks like it's starting to clear just a little bit at this stage. It just has to really be clear enough for the judges to be able to see the start gate from the bottom of the course. We're at the bottom of the course looking up at the moment. It's a 200-meter long course. And it looks like the fog may just be starting to lift a little bit. Will this be enough to get the competition back underway? We'll see. If it is, the next duel will be between Yulia Feklistova of Kazakhstan and Karima Wakim of Australia. So let's just sit and hope that this fog does indeed lift enough to get competition activity back underway here in Airolo. Well, I think the fog has lifted, perhaps just enough to get the next heat underway. We've already seen one heat. Only one. Rico Nonobe going through to the quarterfinal. Heat number 2 sees Yulia Feklistova getting ready on the blue course there versus Karima Wakim of Australia on the red course, and the competition is back on. The dual mogul event at the World Junior Championships. Both the athletes looking pretty good and evenly matched for speed at this stage. This is about the halfway point. They both got decent landings from their first jumps. A slight speed advantage, I think, on the blue course for the Kazakhstan athlete. But she misses the landing on that back somersault. Looks like she's taken quite a nasty hit there. Oh dear, here it is. She gets the takeoff okay, but then too short. It looked like the takeoff was okay, but she didn't have enough speed and came in on the tips of her skis and unfortunately took a nasty knock on landing from that back somersault. That's unfortunate. Looks like she's back up on her feet. Thankfully, no serious injuries sustained, but she's certainly given herself a good knock. That was a painful landing from that back somersault there from Yulia Feklistova. And thankfully, she's okay. I'm certain that she'll have some cuts to the face and some bruising perhaps to the ribs after that face plant from the back somersault. But thankfully, she is back up on her feet and okay. She shakes herself down and exits the competition at this stage. So Karima Wakim there will be progressing through to the quarterfinals, where she will ski against Rico Nonobe in quarterfinal number 1. Well, we didn't get much of a let-up in the weather there. Just enough to get that one run in. This could be quite a long day if it progresses at this pace. We're getting a run in about once every 20 minutes at the moment. So it could take us a little while. Anyway, looks like the course will probably have to go back up on hold. This is, of course, a skiing event. It's a mountain sport, and you can expect mountain weather. Well, we're getting a bit of that today as this cloud comes in and out over this course. Snow falling as the cloud moves across the area. Every now and again we get a little bit of a window, but unfortunately not quite long enough. So the course back on hold, unfortunately, here at the World Junior Championships. And all we can do is sit it out and wait for this fog to lift. course then still on hold here in Airolo in Switzerland, the World Junior Championships for Freestyle for 2026. We've only managed 2 runs, 2 heats so far. In the brief moments when the fog on the course lifted. So hopefully more updates on forecast coming soon. It looks like fog and cloud is forecast for the rest of the day. So we can only hope that it lifts on enough of an occasion to get some competition action underway here on the Dual Mogul course. I'll be back with you soon. Well, it seems that the fog has lifted just enough to get the next heat possibly underway. Two athletes in the start gate here on the Dual Moguls course. Japan versus Japan. It's still quite foggy. From the bottom of the course, we still can't quite see the top of the start gate, so still a bit borderline. But if this heat does get underway, it will be Japan versus Japan. Tani and Yukina Mizunuma. But the course has gone back onto hold. The weather really not playing along today. So a brief moment of excitement there as we thought the competition might get back underway, but unfortunately the course back on hold once again here at the Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships on the Dual Mogul Day. Unfortunately, the fog, cloud and snow is down on the course and making things very difficult for the competition organisers. It looks like the fog may be just lifting a little bit. It just needs to give a clear view of that course, of course, not only for the safety of the athletes who are skiing themselves, but for the judges who need to decide the points. The judges do need to, of course, to be able to see the Mogul course. And at the moment, the top is still pretty obscured by this fog. It's tantalizing because every now and again it lifts just enough to get a heat in. We've seen two heats only so far. Rico Nonobe versus Nilsson in heat 1. And Karima Wakim versus Yulia Feklistova in heat 2. The next heat of Tani and Yukina Mizunuma almost got going just a few moments ago there, but the course back on hold, unfortunately, now. All we can do is sit it out and hope that this fog lifts enough to get the competition started once again. Well, the two athletes are still in that start gate. A frustrating waiting game for them. It looks as though the fog has just lifted enough then to get this next heat underway. Japan versus Japan. Tani on the blue course and her teammate Yukina Mizunuma on the red course. And the competition is back on. Both going inverted. But the red course athlete, Yukina Mizunuma, veering a little bit from the fall line just after landing of that first jump. So she'll receive some deductions for turn points for that. And she's on the back of the tails of the skis once again, fighting for control of the run. Tani gets a great jump in on the blue course and crosses the line well ahead of Mizunuma. And I think that was enough of a difference, certainly in speed, with the advantage going to Tani there. Nice solid landing from that backflip on the bottom jump as well. Kept the turns going in the bottom of the course, and she crosses the line. And I think it will probably be Tani who gets the nod and the place in the quarter-finals. Let's get confirmation of that. Yes, that is the way it goes. 28 points to 7. So Tani is through to the quarters. Now, if this fog stays off the course long enough to get the next heat in, it will be Olivia Hedberg of Sweden versus Citrine Boychuk of Canada. Hedberg on the blue course, Boychuk on the red. And they're away into the first jump. Back somersaults, both with tuck positions. Oh, the Swede has gone down. Olivia Hedberg coming to grief after the landing of that first jump, just mistiming the turn immediately after the landing. So often that is the crux point of a mogul run. Oh, and a bad crash on the red course as well. We've seen that happen once already. And Citrine Boychuk just did not have enough air as she took that second jump and came straight in on her face. That is the second time in this competition that we've seen that occurrence. We saw it on the blue course a little earlier on as Yulia Feklistova of Kazakhstan did exactly the same thing, just didn't have enough speed. And despite the crash from Olivia Hedberg, the fact that she made that good recovery, got back on her skis, crossed the line, and as a consequence of that crash by Citrine Boychuk, luckily she's okay, it is in fact Hedberg who gets the nod through to the next round. So exciting competition action here in Airolo today. Next up, Abby Mclarnon of the USA on the blue course meets Vicky Roblain of Canada on the red. And already it's the American on the blue course that has the speed advantage as they approach the halfway point in difficult conditions. The visibility, of course, causing a lot of trouble for the athletes today. And the speed seems to be an issue coming into this second jump. Twice we've seen athletes not get enough speed to get their jumps in. It's a back flip by the American and then a front flip from the Canadian. Great skiing from both athletes there, but with the American athlete there, Abby Mclarnon, the silver medalist in the single format moguls here at the World Juniors a couple of days ago, and skiing well today under difficult conditions on the dual course. I think that speed advantage there should be enough, and it is. 23 points to 12 sees Abby Mclarnon of the USA progress through to the quarterfinals. Next up, Flavie Lamontagne for Canada meets Eden Kruger of the USA. Lamontagne, the Canadian, on the blue course this time, and Eden Kruger of the USA near on the right of screen on the red. The snow still falling here in Airolo on the dual mogul course. Tricky conditions. Both athletes with a backflip. This is where things went wrong for the athletes on the last run, but this time out, they're both away clean as they hit the midway point. Both now finding the rhythm on that midsection. The lower limbs doing all the work to absorb the impact of the bumps on this course. Backflips with iron cross from both athletes, both landing clean. But it is the blue course skier, Flavie Lamontagne, who crosses the line first. And I think that speed advantage should be enough to see her through to the quarters. Both athletes on this occasion relatively well matched for turn, technique and jumps. So I think it will be the speed that will be the deciding factor in that heat. And it is 21-14 the difference. Flavie Lamontagne through to the quarterfinals. Heat number 7 then of this round of 8. Victoria Johnson meets Emily Pederson. USA versus USA. Johansson on the blue course, Pederson on the red. Top of the course, just about obscured once again by fog, so possibly the athletes being held momentarily in that start gate. Let's just hope that that bit of fog up there clears enough for the judges to be able to see the whole course. Tricky conditions today for the athletes, of course, with this poor visibility, making the difficult terrain of a top-level bumps course very difficult to navigate, very difficult to judge the timing of those turns, and also the landings of the jumps, of course. When you've got almost whiteout conditions, it makes the orientation, particularly in the inverted maneuvers, the upside-down tricks, it makes them very difficult to judge. We've already seen two pretty bad landings today as a consequence. Probably more of speed issues, I think, coming into the second jump. But we have seen quite a bit of crashing on the dual mogul course today with these difficult conditions. One of the competition organising committee there just brushing that fresh snow off the face of the jumps as we await this USA versus USA heat. Victoria Johansson on the blue course. Emily Pederson now then, they're looking ready. Pederson on the red course and they're away. Both athletes going inverted. Back somersault with truck driver grabs from each of the Americans. The blue course skier, Victoria Johansson, going well. Both athletes now with great rhythm on the midsection. Oh, a little trip from Emily Pederson on the red course. She starts carrying too much speed as she comes into the second jump. Can she control this? She can. Well, the run almost got away from her there. She was carrying just too much speed, really, I think, coming into that second jump. But excellent control from her. Right on the edge of control. She managed to really absorb that second jump to soak up some of that speed. And not get too much airtime. But it is Victoria Johansson who gets the higher score. And that is a consequence of Emily Pederson having just lost control there from about the midway point. It's a shame because she was going well up until that moment. But it is Victoria Johansson who is through. Now then, down to the last heat in this round for the women. Olivia Martin of the USA on the blue course meets Valeria Volovikova of Kazakhstan on the red course. And it is the American Olivia Martin who has the big speed advantage at this stage. Valeria Volovikova struggling a little bit at the midsection, taking her time, playing it safe, and allowing a big advantage to be opened up by Olivia Martin. She crosses the line well ahead. Volovikova manages to get an invert. Good jump on that second air. But we could see the difference in speed between the two. A fairly clear decision, I think, for the judges on this occasion. That should see Olivia Martin going through to meet her teammate Victoria Johansson in the fourth quarterfinal. And that is the result as expected. Now, we should be getting to see the men in action next for their round of 16. Let's see. It looks like they're in the gate. They're ready to go. Jack Egan of the USA meets Hugo Duhem of France. Duhem on the red course, Egan on the blue course, straight into the action. The competition organisers not wasting any time with this competition as both athletes go inverted and get tricked in there. Look at the blue course athlete, though. He's virtually straight lining that section at the top. Egan carrying too much speed. Can he control the second jump? Well, he does. It's an absolute blistering display of speed, but he was right on the seat of his pants for that run, almost straight lining that midsection at one point. But control it he did, and that was some fast skiing. Hugo Duhem of France also gets a backflip with an iron cross. But look at the speed of Egan of the USA. That was fast. 20 points to 15 sees Egan through to the quarterfinals. Back up top, Japan will meet Canada in the next heat. Akihiro Tamano versus Alexis Dufour. Dufour for Canada on the red course. Tamano for Japan on the blue. The gate goes down and they're on the course and the heat is underway. A backflip 360, a 720 from the Japanese athlete, 360 from the Canadian. Both athletes equally matched for speed, but the Canadian on the red course is in a bit of trouble. Once again on the seat of his pants. Gets the second jump in clean, though, and the men are taking some risks today here at the World Junior Championships. Exciting stuff on the dual mogul course. Check out the red course athlete on the right. It is Alexis Dufour of Canada. Goes big into that second jump. Great skiing from the Japanese athlete, Akihiro Tamano. Perhaps a little better on the turns, I suspect. Yes, it is. 19 points go the way of Tamano as he books his place in that quarterfinal. Next up, USA versus France. Camden Lewis for USA on the blue course. Noé Lemay for France on the red. Nice jumps from both athletes. They're into the rhythm nicely on the midsection as well. Problems, though, on the blue course for the American. Getting into the tails of the skis a little bit there. He's getting bounced around quite a lot from bump to bump. Gets a clean jump in on the second. Now he crossed the line ahead of the Frenchman. So Camden Lewis there, certainly faster than Noé Lemay. But what about the turns? Lewis was getting bounced around a little bit on that midsection, so he may take a few deductions from the judges in terms of turning technique, but he does have the advantage with speed, so this could go either way. 17 points to 18, very, very close, and the decision goes in favour of Noé Lemay of France, just edging Camden Lewis out of the competition on the basis of his turn technique, I think. Ryoma Hayashi of Japan on the blue course now meets Linus Johansson of Sweden on the red course. The Swedes having a good competition here at the World Junior Championships. They've already achieved gold in the single format competition and the team event yesterday. But it looks like Hayashi, the Japanese athlete, is a little faster than the Swede on this occasion. Flying into that second jump on the blue course, goes big. With some kind of loop, I think that was. Certainly got a grab into that second flip. Crossing the line ahead of Linus Johansson. So the Japanese athlete, Ryoma Hayashi, the faster of the two. Backflip with a grab. Rotating almost sideways off that jump into what I think is a loop. But either way, the turns of Hayashi also better than those of Johansson in the eyes of the judges. So it's 19 points to 16 in favour of the Japanese athlete as Ryoma Hayashi books his place in the quarters. Porter Huff of the USA now on the blue course meets Quinn Unger of Canada on the red. Both athletes away clean. Nice into the first jumps, and it looks like the blue course athlete, Porter Huff of the USA, has a slight speed advantage, but Quinn Unger is not going to let him have this one. He closes the gap, pulls level, And they're exactly neck and neck as they hit the second jump. Porter Huff does manage to cross the line about half a ski's length ahead of the Canadian. But once again, quite a closely matched pairing there in that heat. Great turns from both athletes on that midsection. Very little to separate the two on the second jump, the backflip with the iron cross, and only about half a ski's length. So once again, I think we'll see a very, very close result here between US and Canada. Porter Huff on the blue course gets 19 points to 16 for Quinn Unger. It is Porter Huff of the USA who progresses through to that next round. Heat number 6 then of 8 in this round of the competition. Louis-Philippe Bougie of Canada meets Noel Gravenfors of Sweden. Gravenfors on the red course, nearest to camera as they go into the second jump. Cork sevens from both athletes and instantly into the rhythm of that midsection. This is good stuff once again. A very closely matched heat between the two. Gravenfors, the Swede on the red course, has the speed advantage. Goes inverted into the backflip. Iron cross on the second jump. Keeps the turns going in the bottom section of the course. Great skiing from Noel Gravenfors on the red course for Sweden. Louis-Philippe Bougie looking good, but getting bounced around from bump to bump there as he came into that second jump. So he'll score deductions. He'll get deductions from the turn judges for that. And he had to stretch his arms out above his head as well to soak up the rotation in that second jump. So only 14 points for Bougie to 21 for Gravenfors. He is through to the quarters. Down to the last two heats now then to decide the fourth quarter finalists. Simon Filipon-Fuer for Canada meets Milo Dodd from Great Britain. Milo Dodd on the red course, gets a clean start and goes cork 7 with a grab into the first jump. So nice skiing from both athletes, nice jumping too. Great skiing from Milo Dodd on that midsection, as there is from Simon Fuer also. Whoa, Milo Dodd is on the edge of control, got onto the tails of his skis just a little bit there. Well, there was some brilliant skiing from the young Brit for about the first 3 quarters of the course, but he almost lost control coming into that second jump. Simon Fuer, the Canadian, perhaps the more experienced of the two, crossing the line ahead of Milo Dodd. And just a little bit of instability from Dodd at the bottom of that midsection means 15 points to him to 20 points for Simon Fuer. And it is Fuer, the Canadian, who books his place in the quarterfinals. Down then to the last heat of this round of 8. Noé Servoz of France meets Matthias Krupa of Czech Republic. Krupa on the red course, Servoz of France on the blue. Krupa, a young skier making a name for himself in Moguls this season, competing well across the events of these World Junior Championships. The French skier Servoz getting thrown about from bump to bump there. Not really maintaining very good contact between ski and snow. Over-rotating the second jump as well. And I think that will have handed Krupa of Czech Republic a spot in the quarters. The Frenchman there, look, getting bounced around. The judges like to see the skis being pushed down between the bumps and maintaining snow contact. And there's that over-rotation from the French skier as he just touches down before going across that line. And I think Krupa will be the skier who books the quarterfinal place on this occasion. And it is 25 points to 10 as that concludes the first round for the men. Back to the top then as the women will be getting ready for their next round. It's the quarterfinals for the women. The competition organisers, with this fog that we're seeing today, won't be wasting any time. Karima Wakim then for Australia meets Rico Nonobe of Japan in quarter-final number 1 as the competition organisers push this event through under difficult conditions today in Airolo. The fog lifting for just long enough at the moment to get the action in thick and fast. Here at the Junior World Championships on the dual mogul course, the blue course skier for Australia, Karima Wakim, a super finalist in the single format competition, trailing just behind the Japanese athlete Rico Nonobe. Nonobe goes big on that second jump, crossing the line well ahead of the Australian. But some good skiing from both athletes in quarterfinal number 1. I think that one is probably going to be down to speed. Wakim there just getting bounced around a little bit on those 3 or 4 bumps before the second air. And I think that decision will probably go the way of the Japanese athlete, Rico Nonobe. Let's see confirmation of that coming up in just a moment from the judges. Karima Wakim, 13 points. Rico Nonobe, 22. Nonobe is through to the semis. Back at the top of the hill, the race organisers keen to push this event through in this small weather window that we've got here. Japan meets Sweden. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden on the blue course. Mio Tani for Japan on the red. Into the first jump, backflips with truck drivers. The Japanese athlete in trouble, veers out of the fall line and bails out of the course. So that'll be, well, would that be a DNS? Not sure. She managed to get back into the course without missing that marker. But either way, with a deviation from the fall line like that, it's going to need a crash from the Swede for Mio Tani's hopes to be back intact. And that does not happen. Olivia Hedberg crossing the line in solid form on the blue course with a backflip on the second jump. Same trick pretty much from Mio Tani on her second jump, but the damage already done on the red course as she deviates out of the fall line and off the side of the course. She still gets points, but only 7 to 28 for Olivia Hedberg. So Hedberg, the Swede, through to the semis. We've already seen Nova Nilsson for Sweden, the single format champion, going out of the competition, unfortunately. So Olivia Hedberg carrying Swedish hopes through into the semi-finals. Next up, Canada meets the USA. Abby Mclarnon for the USA on the red course, right of camera now. In trouble though, gets onto the back seat, takes a hit, makes a good recovery. But of course, the judges will have put in some big deductions for that small crash. Great recovery from the American. Abby Mclarnon, the silver medalist in the single format competition, struggling a little bit on the dual mogul course. And despite that crash, still managing to cross the line ahead of Canada's Flavie Lamontagne. It was a great recovery from Mclarnon, the World Junior Silver single format medalist. I wonder which way that'll go. So she had the speed advantage, but with that crash, it could go the way of the Canadian. And it does. Flavie Lamontagne is given 20 points. Abby Mclarnon exits the competition as Lamontagne books her place in that quarterfinal. Now, who will it be that joins her in the semi-final, I should say. Sorry, not the quarterfinals. This is the quarterfinals. They're looking for a place in the semi-finals. Who will it be that meets Lamontagne? It will either be Victoria Johansson or Olivia Martin, both USA team skiers. Back somersaults, and already the blue course skier Victoria Johansson is out, over-rotating that first jump. She's made a quick recovery once again, back on her skis, straight into the rhythm of that midsection, but the damage is already done, and she'll be hoping for, I suppose, mistakes from Olivia. That was Olivia Martin, sorry. Oh dear, and then Martin goes wrong on the second jump, and again we see one of the freestyle mogul athletes coming in short on that second jump and landing on their front. That was Olivia Martin on that blue course. Just coming up short. Let's take a look. It was a terrible landing. Not enough airtime. Straight onto her chest. And that is a bad way to land in the bumps. You don't need me to tell you that. Thankfully, Olivia Martin is back up on her skis, made of tough stuff. She will have bruised her ribs badly on that occasion, I'm sure. And thankfully, she is okay. as Victoria Johnson commiserates her teammate, booking herself a place in the semi-final. Straight back up top, the action coming thick and fast as we move into the quarterfinal round for the men now. Jack Egan of the USA on the red course meets Akihiro Tamano of Japan on the blue. Cork sevens from both athletes on the first jump, and both men looking good now on that midsection. Look at the red course skier, Jack Egan, flying down that midsection. He was super quick in the last round, and he is flying down the course once again now. Absolutely devastating turn of speed from Jack Egan on that red course of the USA, as Akihiro Tamano comes to grief as he crosses the line. Jack Egan looks back up to check that his opponent is okay. Good sportsmanship from Jack Egan as he comes to commiserate the Japanese athlete Akihiro Tamano. All smiles after that crash, but look at the speed of Jack Egan on that red course, absorbing the takeoff into that second jump. The Japanese athlete over-rotating his second jump and taking a bit of a beater as he crosses the line. So Jack Egan books his place there in the semis. Back up top, France will meet Japan in the next heat. Noe Lemay meets Ryoma Hayashi. Lemay, the French skier, on the red course. Hayashi for Japan on the blue. The competition action here at the World Junior Championships coming thick and fast today on the dual mogul course in difficult conditions. The fog lifting just enough to get this competition underway. Now, Ryoma Hayashi almost got into trouble there on the back tails of the skis, and he couldn't get the run back under control, getting fired out of that fall line, out of the course, and leaving the way clear for France's Noe Lemay to book a place in the semi-finals. Lots of exciting action today on the Freestyle Mogul course. Difficult conditions, of course, for the skiers. But some of them really taking a lot of risks today and providing some very, very exciting action here in Airolo. So Hayashi is through. And Noe Lemay, who crashed out there on the red course, goes out of the competition. Apologies if I may, I've miscalled that last round during the heat of that action. Let's go back up top then. Porter Huff on the red course for the USA. Noel Gravenfors for Sweden on the blue. Porter Huff carrying a lot of speed, as is the Swede in actual fact on the midsection. Porter Huff, though, on the edge of control, on the tails of the skis, getting bounced around. Can he control this run? He does. Getting pushed all the way to the line, though, by Noel Gravenfors on the blue course there. What a heat that was. Very little for the judges to take away from those two. Both athletes absolutely blasting down that midsection. Right on the edge of control. Certainly not holding back despite the difficult conditions that we're experiencing today in Airolo. An amazing heat and some brilliant skiing from both athletes there. A difficult job for the judges. 19-16. The decision going in favour of the Swede, Noel Gravenfors. The blue course skier getting the nod on that occasion through to the semis. Down then to the last of the quarterfinals for the men. Simon Filipon-Fuer for Canada goes on the red course. Matthias Kruger for the Czech Republic on the blue course. Into the first jump, cork sevens from both athletes. The blue course skier, Matthias Kruger, with a slight advantage on speed as he drops into the fog. Both athletes pushing each other all the way here. Nice backflips on the bottom from both, and not much separating them on speed at the bottom. Only half a ski's length in it, really. So I think that one is going to be down to turn technique. And still not much to separate the two. The athletes really pushing themselves all the way on this occasion. And once again, a difficult decision for the judges. Kruger possibly just had the edge on turns. And he does. 21 points for him to 14 for Fuer. It is Kruger for the Czech Republic, who is through to the semis. Back up to the top of the hill now for the women. They'll be getting ready for their semi-final round. The competition organisers in this weather window pushing this competition through at the World Junior Freestyle Championships here in Airolo. The action coming at us thick and fast today on this dual mogul course, providing some exciting action and quite a number of mishaps as well along the way. Luckily, nobody has sustained any serious injuries so far. And hopefully that is the way it will stay. So we can see the whole course from the bottom. That mogul course there, 200 meters in length at 26 degrees. 7 judges to score the athletes as we move through the elimination rounds of this competition. We're down to the semi-finals now. The semi-final for the women to be run next. So 4 athletes only in the women's competition, 4 remaining in the men's as well. These semi-finals, of course, to decide who will ski in the final as we decide the medals today and the World Junior Dual Mogul Champion. So semi-finals waiting to run next. Thankfully, the cloud just moving away from the competition site for long enough to get this competition underway. And the race organisers from the International Ski Federation doing an absolutely fantastic job to push the action through here in this weather window. Difficult conditions for the athletes, but for the competition organisers as well, of course. We're down to the last 4 women and 4 men in this competition. The semi-finals coming up next. The winner from each of these semis to go through to the final to have a chance at becoming the dual mogul junior world champion today in Airolo in Switzerland. Day 4 of a fantastic competition that has seen 357 athletes from 21 nations, aging from 14 to 19 years old, competing on the Aerials Hill and the Moguls Hill here in Airolo for a fantastic weekend of competition that will conclude over the next few moments. We're down to the last 4 athletes in the event, in the women's competition, the same in the men, for the last medals of the Junior World Championships to be decided in dual moguls today. Finally, the weather is playing along with the competition as the fog lifts just long enough, hopefully, to get a result in today at the Junior Worlds. And so far, it's looking quite hopeful. Now, the competition organisers will be conscious of the fact that this fog could once again drop back in, so they won't be wanting to waste any time. The athletes, of course, do need enough time just to get back up to the top of the hill. They have just competed their quarter-finals. Of course, we'll be getting ready at the top of that 200-metre-long dual mogul course to contest the semi-finals. Here we go. Looks like the first athletes are in for the women's competition. The start gate being prepped. Semi-final number 1 then sees Rico Nonobe of Japan on the blue course, skiing against Olivia Hedberg of Sweden on the red course. Swedish hopes resting with Hedberg in this competition, women's competition now. The Swedes have had a fantastic week here at the World Junior Championships. And let's see how Hedberg goes now for Sweden on the red course. Back somersault with truck driver. Both athletes landing clean, both into the rhythm of that midsection. So far, so good. Evenly matched for speed. Nonobe of Japan going well also on the blue course. Hedberg, I think, perhaps with the cleaner turns. Both looking nice and controlled into the second jump. Now, Nonobe, the Japanese athlete, opens up a speed advantage over the Swede. Crossing the line just ahead of Hedberg. But I think this one could possibly go down to turns. Freestyle Moguls isn't just about speed, it's about turn technique and jumps as well. Each of those values representing a third of the overall score. And when all three are combined together, the results will come through. Who will it be? Who books the place in the final? Well, very little in it. The smallest of margins, only 1 point separating the two. 18 points to Olivia Hedberg, 17 points to Rico Nonobe. So that means it is Hedberg who will progress through to the final. An opportunity at victory for her today in that competition. Now, heat number 2 for the women. Flavie Lamontagne of Canada on the blue course. Victoria Johansson of the USA on the red. This now then for a place in today's final. Backflip with truck driver from both athletes. A little bit of instability on the red course from Johansson, but she's made a very, very quick recovery and now is looking good on that midsection. But Lamontagne is not going to let her have this one easily. The Canadian pushing the American all the way. The American almost getting into a bit of trouble there. On approach to that second jump, she was on the tails of the skis momentarily. But for the second time in that run, she made a brilliant recovery. I wonder what the judges will make of that. So the Canadian, Lamontagne, just behind the American. But look at the way Victoria Johansson on that red course. She was getting bounced around just a little bit on that on approach to the second jump. Either way, it's going to be close, as it was in that last semi-final. I wonder, has Flavie Lamontagne done enough on the turns to get a place in the final? Yes, she has. 19 points for the Canadian, to 16 for the American, Victoria Johansson. Those mistakes in turns from Victoria Johansson, meaning that she will ski in the small final, giving her a possibility of bronze medal today. But it means that that final will be Olivia Hedberg for Sweden and Flavie Lamontagne of Canada. Back up top then, the competition organisers wasting no time as we've got Jack Egan against Ryomo Hayashi. Egan, the American, the quickest man we've seen on the course today. He is an absolute wild man. Let's see how he goes now for the USA on the blue course. Ryomo Hayashi is going to push him all the way though. Great jumps from both athletes. This is where Egan lets it run. Hayashi getting bounced around a little bit on the edge of control. He's sticking with the super fast American at this stage, but I think he's going to pay the price in terms of control. Wow, Jack Egan once again super fast over the distance now. Ryomo Hayashi stayed with him all the way, but he was really on the edge of control. Jack Egan super smooth on that midsection. What a mogul skier he is on that blue course. Amazing stuff. Brave skiing from Ryomo Hayashi. But I think that should be enough to see Jack Egan through to the finals for the USA. Let's see which way the decision goes from our judges today. Who will it be that contests the final? Egan or Hayashi? 23 points to 12. Hayashi goes through to the small final. Jack Egan books a place in the final. This man is on fire today. Who will it be that skis off against the super quick American? Noel Gravenfors for Sweden or Matthias Krupa for Czechia? Gravenfors, the Swede, on the blue course. Krupa on the red. This will be a close fought battle again. Problems on the red course though from Matthias Krupa as he gets thrown over the front on landing from that first jump. Handing a place in the final to Noel Gravenfors. Gravenfors crosses the line with ease. And let's just hope Krupa didn't take too much of a beating on landing from that jump. That's the replay of Gravenfors on his second jump. Looking back up the course there, it does indeed look like Matthias Krupa is back up on his feet, thankfully. It was a pretty bad crash from that first jump for the Czechia athlete. But he will get a DNF for that. Did not finish, handing a spot to Noel Gravenfors in the final. So Gravenfors will meet Jack Egan in the race-off for gold and the World Junior Dual Mogul title today. And I wonder whether Kruger will be able to take his run in the consolation round, the small final. The ski-off for the bronze medal. He's taken a bit of a beating on landing. Or it wasn't quite on landing. It was just after landing from that first jump. He got tripped by the first or second bump after landing. These mogul courses are pretty gnarly things. Pretty much every skier's worst nightmare, really, when you're out enjoying a good day skiing, is hitting a vicious set of moguls. But these athletes do it for fun. There is the course, still clear, thankfully. The fog just staying away long enough to get this competition underway after a lot of waiting. There is Matthias Kruger back up on his skis, thankfully. No injuries sustained. And it looks like he could be in good enough condition and thankfully to take his place in that small final. So he will ski it off for the bronze medal against Ryoma Hayashi. And the ski off for gold and the World Junior Dual Mogul title in that men's competition today will be Jack Egan of the USA versus Noel Gravenfors of Sweden. The women will take to the course first for their final rounds as we reach the concluding moments of the dual mogul competition and the Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships for 2026. Only 4 runs remaining in this year's competition. And thankfully, the cloud has lifted long enough to make it look as though we're going to be able to get those 4 runs in. We'll start off with the competition for the bronze medal in the women's competition. That will see Rico Nonobe of Japan skiing against Victoria Johnson of the USA in that first consolation final for today's bronze medal, before Olivia Hedberg of Sweden meets Flavie Montagne in the ski-off for gold. It's almost looking quite sunny compared to what it was there before. Things brightening up just in time for the finals, thankfully. An exciting competition this has been. A number of crashes along the way. Thankfully, all the athletes back up on their feet and no serious injuries sustained. I am happy to report. And apart from the poor visibility, it is very nice to see a bit of late season snow here in Airolo. A beautiful corner of Switzerland, hosting this year's World Junior Championships. And yeah, great to see a little bit of late season snow falling in this part of the Alps. And pretty good snow coverage all around, in actual fact, in this area. Only 4 runs remaining in this year's Junior World Freestyle Championships. A competition that has seen 4 days of action, with 357 athletes aged from 14 to 19 and representing 21 nations competing for titles in these World Junior Championships for 2026. As we approach now the concluding runs of the competition, of the championships. Here on the Mogul course, side-by-side action. As we await the dual mogul finals. Okay, we are all in there now for the final rounds of the World Junior Freestyle Championships here in Airolo. First of all, the ski off for the bronze medal in the women's competition. Victoria Johnson for the USA on the blue course. Rico Nonobe for Japan on the red course. The cloud lifting just long enough to get the conclusion, get the final rounds underway in this championship. The first of the finals then. Nonobe for Japan on the red course. Johnson for the USA on the blue. This for the bronze medal in the women's competition. Both athletes getting inverted and clean landings on the first jump. Deviations from the fall line from the Japanese athlete on the red course, though. She's out of control, getting thrown around from bump to bump as Victoria Johnson goes well on the blue course. Really hitting the rhythm nicely on that midsection. Wow, that was an exciting run from Rico Nonobe there on the red course. Right on the edge of control. And although she may have crossed the line just a little bit ahead of the American, I think the judges are going to go in favour of Victoria Johnson on the basis of her turn technique. Only about half a ski's length separating the two in terms of distance. But remember, Moguls is not just about speed. It's about turn technique and jumps as well. And as an all-round performance, for my money, I think Victoria Johnson there of the USA may just well get the nod ahead of Rico Nonobe. Rico Nonobe was putting in an exciting run, no question about that, but she was kind of getting thrown around a little bit from bump to bump, I think. And that is the way it does stack up, 22 points to 13. Victoria Johnson of the USA finishes the Junior World Dual Mogul Championships in third place. Who will it be that takes the title out? This, the race now for the gold medal. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden. On the red course, Flavie Lamontagne of Canada skis on the blue for the gold medal now in the Dual Mogul Junior World Championships. Both athletes away clean. Already the Swede Olivia Hedberg with something of a speed advantage on the red course. Flavie Lamontagne closes the gap though, gets the rhythm going on the midsection nicely. Now Hedberg struggling a little bit to control the speed, but she's made a good recovery. Goes clean into the second jump. The Canadian closing the gap on the Swede as they cross the line. They crossed the line almost neck and neck in that ski-off for the gold medal. Hedberg, the Swede, had the advantage for a lot of the run. There were one or two little mistakes perhaps on that midsection, but this is going to be a difficult decision for the judges. Both athletes putting in some great turns. Both athletes pretty much evenly matched when it came to jumps and speed. So it's anybody's guess which way this could go, and it goes in favour of the Canadian. Flavie Lamontagne is the Junior World Dual Moguls champion for 2026. 19 points to 16. Victoria Johnson settling there for second place. A great women's competition victory for the Canadian athlete Flavie Lamontagne. Olivia Hedberg in second place, and the US team's Victoria Johnson in third place. Well, exciting stuff in the women's competition here in Airolo at the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. The cloud playing along with the competition now, lifting off the course, allowing this competition to get underway after long delays earlier on It is now the turn of the men to take to the dual mogul course to decide their medals. First up, it will be Ryoma Hayashi of Japan against Matthias Krupa of the Czech Republic to decide the bronze medal. Remember, Krupa, who skis now on the blue course, took a bit of a crash in that last round. But he is back up top and in the start gate, ready to go now in this ski-off for the bronze medal. Krupa on the blue course, Hayashi for Japan on the red course. Hayashi on the tails of the skis a little bit, on the edge of control, pushing the Czechia athlete all the way. Hayashi, though, oh, they both go out, both getting onto the tails of the skis in exact synchronization. Which way is this going to turn out now? Krupa on the blue course got himself back up onto his feet and crossed the line. I don't think he went out of the course, and I think the Japanese athlete, Ryoma Hayashi, did. Well, the athletes pushing each other all the way there, and both of them getting into difficulties at exactly the same time. But I suspect that could be a DNF or a DNS for Ryoma Hayashi. I think he skied out of the course. Quick thinking from Matthias Krupa, making a quick recovery, getting back on his skis. It ain't over till it's over, is the message from that particular final. 35 points then, the full points going towards Matthias Krupa. The bronze medal will be his today. Thankfully, both athletes remain healthy after that little crash as we go back up top now for the ski-off for the gold medal. This for the Junior World Dual Mogul title. Jack Egan for the USA on the red course. Noel Gravenfors for Sweden on the blue course. Jack Egan, the fastest man down the course, I think, today. Keep your eye on him. He's right of camera at the moment on that red course. But Noel Gravenfors has been skiing well all day today, as he has all week, and will push the American all the way to the line in this, the ski-off for the gold medal today. Both athletes getting cork sevens in on the top jump, landing clean. Gravenfors struggling to find the rhythm on the midsection. Jack Egan as fast as he's ever been, but struggling to control the run. Can he do it? He absorbs the takeoff into that second jump, lands it clean, as does Gravenfors. And Jack Egan, the speed merchant, crosses the line ahead of the Swede. Will that be enough to give him the gold medal today? We can only wait and see. Both athletes skied that brilliantly, but there were mistakes from both as well. Look at them both getting bounced around on that midsection quite a lot. But they both managed to get the second jump in. An exciting final run there at the World Junior Dual Mogul Championships. Gravenfors pushing Jack Egan all the way to the line. And again, a difficult decision for the judges at the World Juniors. And the decision goes the way of Noel Gravenfors. They're deciding that the turn technique of the Swede, better than that of the speed merchant, Jack Egan of the USA. So it is the gold medal for Noel Gravenfors. Another gold medal for the Swedes here at the World Junior Championships. They've taken gold in the single format and the team events, and now, thanks to Noel Gravenfors, they secure the gold medal in the men's competition as well. Second place for Jack Egan of the USA. And Matthias Krupa, after a couple of crashes today, will be happy to be on the podium. The bronze medal will be his today. Exciting times and a fantastic conclusion to the competition action here in Airolo at the 2026 FIS Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships. And the competition organisers from the International Ski Federation breathing something of a sigh of relief as they managed to get that competition in today under very, very difficult weather conditions with all this fog and snow that we've experienced. So exciting times and a fantastic conclusion to the World Junior Championships here in Airolo for 2026. Thank you for being with us. My name is Richard Colbang. I have enjoyed it. I hope you have too. Superb action all the way across the aerials team, Moguls, Dual Moguls team, and today the Dual Moguls that concluded the 2026 World Junior Freestyle Championships. Thanks for being with us. I will bid you farewell from Airolo in Switzerland as we finish one more time with a little look around this beautiful area and say goodbye from the World Junior Championships.